Hi everyone, I'd like to introduce myself to the class just like I'm asking you guys to do. I'll start with my major. When I was in Millersville University, that's a university that's in the same system as East Stroudsburg University, I was a history major. And then later on I became so enamored with the field of communication that I switched over to communication for both my master's and my Ph.D. at Penn State University. As far as where I'm from, it's really hard to say. I was born in California, but I spent my childhood years in Texas, and I've spent the majority of my life in Pennsylvania. I've also had the opportunity to live in Britain for a little bit, where my parents are from and they returned to. And also I've lived in Sweden for a little bit of time. I also lived in Norfolk, Virginia for a bit. But really Pennsylvania is where I've spent most of my time living. Travel-wise, I've really been lucky in my life to have traveled many different places, and many times because I was teaching a class for ESU at an overseas location. And so that's sort of been a mission of mine, to travel and see the world. I just love to go around and not just visit countries as a tourist, but to live the way that people do in those countries, going to restaurants and riding on buses and hanging out with locals. So I've been able to go to most countries in Europe, backpacking, motorcycling, hitchhiking, taking trains. I've been to Mexico many times. I've been to 4 or 5 islands in the Caribbean. I've taken my classes to Canada. I've been to China, Ghana. I've been in a lot of different places. I'm very, very fortunate to have traveled, and there's still many more on my list. I mean, there, after all, are 200 countries in the world. Something that happened to me that was exciting was about 2 years ago in 2014. The radio station that I advised, WESS Radio, won the MTV Woody Award for being the best college radio station in the country. That was a tremendously thrilling period of time where we beat out huge universities like Boston University and UC Berkeley, and there's little old East Stroudsburg University. You look it up, you can see that the 2014 Woody Award winners include Beyonce and Drake and, oh yeah, WESS Radio. Hobbies that I have, well, I have quite a few hobbies, mostly involve things that are outdoorsy, but one that's set apart from that is I just love the Rolling Stones. I've loved them since I was 16 years old. I'm going to see them next week in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I've been to see them 13 times in lots of different places. I'm a huge fan of Keith Richards. These are old guys by your standards, your time frame, your time reference, so you may not know who they are, but that's my hobby. I listen to the Stones. I know the Stones really well. I've done a bunch of guest lectures on the Stones. I just love their music. You probably have a band that's like that for you too. What a lot of people don't know about me is sometimes people assume that professors are just sort of, I hate to use the term book smart. It sounds very self-complimentary. I'm not meaning it to be that way. But what I'm trying to say is if you're book smart, you don't necessarily use your hands. Well, that's kind of the opposite for me. I love to fix things. I love to fix things around my house. Yesterday I fixed the stove. I fixed the ramp going up to my shed. I just love to fix things. As far as what the future holds, well, I kind of have a life that I'm really, really happy with, but I'm open to the future. I'd like to live out west again someday. I'm interested in going to a place where my wife can have a job. She's a professor also at East Stroudsburg University. She's the advisor to undeclared majors. Her name is Kelly McKenzie. And we have 2 kids, Gordon and Fiona McKenzie, and whatever we do in the future will involve them. My daughter is in fact going to Millersville University in the fall. So that's a little bit about me to introduce myself. I really look forward to meeting all of you.